Good afternoon, everyone. Next Generation Weather Forecaster Joe Shaka looking at my September forecast and also the big change that's coming into the Atlantic regarding our hurricane season as we enter the peak. So I am working on getting a new screen recorder so I don't have to use the phone and tripod setup, which I currently have now. I just got to get a couple more pieces so we'll be able to really remarkably, if you will, improve the video quality like you saw in the previous test video that I did. We had a problem with the sound, but at least the images were a little bit bigger now. You can see the issue here with zooming in on these. They get blurry, but on the other screen recording software that's on here, I am able to do that and improve the overall quality of the videos. But one of the people I saw on Twitter and Facebook, they shared a video, and they said it's not about the video, it's about the forecast I am sending out. So that is very much true. It's not about what it looks like, it's what is going to happen and what actually did happen. But in any case, here we are with the Japanese. It's JMA Thursday, as Joe Bastardi likes to call it. This is when the Japanese weeklies come out, and this is week one, which begins on Saturday. And basically, I'm going to try to zoom in here if I can and try to pull these up like that. Now, it actually looks pretty good. This may be an updated version here of this photo gallery, because this is pretty good, because now I can zoom in and scroll down. So this actually, I like this actually pretty good. But the software will be better, and you'll see that down the road. In any case, you can see the big ridge here that's over the northeastern part of the United States. This here is Florida, so you can basically see here, big torch coming next week. Here are the 850 temperatures. Right here, you can see the big torch over the northeast. Let me try to scroll down here if I can. Here's the pressure. You can see higher pressure, lower pressure there, which will promote warmth. Moving on here to the next image here. This is week 2. Let me zoom in here, grab the ridge. There is the ridge again. Over here, and here is Florida right here. I wonder why that these are done where Asia's focused like that, but in any case, there is a way I could turn these around. But there's the ridge centered over the northeast, and now start looking at what's happening days 10 to 16 here over the Caribbean and over the part of the Western Atlantic. We're starting to see low, baggy heights, and there will be a system that comes out of the MDR, and we'll take a look at that in just a second in more detail. But the tropics, no question, are coming along. The heat over the northeast will continue to go unabated. And then looking at the 850s, it looks like this, and the sea pressure looks like that. Moving on here to weeks 3 and 4, taking a look here at 500 millibars. You can see here, there's a trough over the south and over the Gulf of Alaska, which is right here. Let me zoom in a little bit more on that. There's the trough over the Gulf of Alaska. Here's a ridge over the western U.S., and maybe a ridge over the northeastern part of the United States. And let me see here, and then again, there are the low heights over the Atlantic right there. 850s look like this. You can see the signal of cool over the central part of the United States, and the low heights, which continues to signal a very active hurricane season, peak season, as we are going into that peak season now. Here is the tropical stuff here from the Japanese, the JMA. Here is week 1. You can see the sinking is over here in the Westpac. We're starting to see a lot of rising motion moving into this part of the world. You can see here the activity, and there's going to be a system that may try to develop in the Gulf this week and in early next week, but it will be a weak system, thankfully, as it will begin to interact with a lot of land in its development process. So that will be capped on how strong they could get, probably 60-mile-an-hour storm, maybe heading into the eastern Gulf early next week. You can see the rain in the Gulf. You can see, let me try to zoom in here. This is week 1. You can see the model seeing the increased rainfall here in the Gulf. You can see, obviously, Africa loading up. We actually have a potential tropical cyclone number 6 about to come into the Cape Verde Islands over the next few days, which has been noted by the NHC, and there'll be some more stuff put out on that a little bit later on today and over the next few days. There's the height view. You can see big ridge over the northeast and the baggy heights underneath, similar to what you saw in the other one, but this is actually, maybe this is a better representation using the global scale. Maybe I'll use this from now on and skip the things that you just saw in the back. And over here, let me zoom in Over here, you can see the SST configuration. You can see the warmth and then somewhat relatively cool, but the MDR is turning around. Hence, the development is about to go ballistic. Here we are, week 2. You can see a lot of rising motion here. We are going to light the match. We're probably going to get 4 to 6 named storms over the next month. So a hyperactive September, peak of the season, well above us, on top of us now, and that's a very, very favorable pattern. You can see the rainfall looks like this. The African wave trade continues. You can see the Gulf of Mexico loading up. Maybe you can get some home brew, and then off the East Coast, one of these systems that looks like the one that's coming off now is going to be the one that recurves out here days 10 to 16, so that's why it's showing up there. And let me see, do I have this on here? Yeah, here it is. This is what I was looking for. It's on this side. You can see the pressures. Let me try to get in over here. You can see the pressures quite low, favoring intense tropical development. Weeks 3 and 4 look like this off the Japanese. Let me try to zoom in over here. Continuation. So this is very favorable for Atlantic tropical development. Rainfall looks like this. Maybe weeks 2.5 to weeks 3.5. There's some indication that maybe you can get some East Coast trouble, and that's being shown by the European ensembles, day 14 to 15. There's a lot of tropical energy that's going to be used up. So it's an exciting time if you like tracking the stuff like I do. There's a lot of potential on the table. You can see what the temperatures and pressure pattern looks like this week 3 and 4. Moving over here to the MJO. The MJO, for this is from the European. Do I have this? This is from the European over the next month. Going phases 8, 1, and 2, which favors tropical development in our part of the world. There is the CFS going into 8 and 1, and then eventually possibly into 2. So that really forecasts favorable tropical development and also warm temperatures across the Northeast for the month of September. You can see phase 8, phase 1, and then maybe phase 2, a little bit of a cool down, but phases 8 and 1 are warm across much of the Northeast. Here is my analog package for the upcoming month of September. I got the years 93, 02, and 06. You can see the center, my ideas of cool in the plains, warm in the east, and then warm out in the west. And that, again, favorable Northeast hurricane hit pattern where you got a trough in the center part of the country, can pick up a storm and send it up into the Northeast. And then finally over here is my September temperature forecast for September of 2018. You can see what it looks like here. I went 2 to 3 C above normal. And this is going to get off to a killer start this upcoming week with the heat wave, the 4 to 5 day heat wave. That is going to begin with temperatures during the overnight hours, possibly close to 20 degrees above normal, 20 Fahrenheit above normal. So an impressive start to the month of September regarding the heat. And the tropics come to life like crazy. That's it for now, and thank you for watching.